This is Investment Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Daily live streaming interactive. Featuring Mrs. Backup. Subscribe, hit the notification, smash the likes. Now, here's Backup Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to Investment Perspectives, everybody. I'm Brad Kimes. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradley and all the information that we're talking about here. Okay, let's go ahead and get into this thing. Now, this is a piece of news from the one and only Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, and he's talking about the U.S. digital dollar. We owe it to the public. It's always for the public and the children. Okay, let's talk about this because, look, first of all, I know it's not an easy position when you're in a high-level public seat, and I understand that that's exactly where Jerome Powell is. So sometimes, you know, you can get caught between a rock and a hard place, okay? But if you remember last year and been following in this space what's been going on with the digital dollar, first of all, last year or 18, it's all running together a bit now, but nevertheless, I'll make the point here. The point is that a year or two ago, Jerome Powell wrote a 8-page dissertation on what is needed for the digital dollar to succeed and all the pros and cons and how it should be done, and it was an excellent paper. Then a few weeks after that paper was written, he testified in Congress when he was asked about where we at with the central bank digital currencies, digital dollar business. He didn't know. He had to turn around and ask the people that were behind him, you know, where are we at with this digital dollar? And, you know, they were like, I think we're like 2023, 2024, somewhere in there, you know. And he's like, yeah, we're ways off, you know, we're at least that far off. So that really was, let's just call it disingenuous, right? Well, here today, now we have quite another tone of Jerome Powell, who now feels we owe it to the public to get this digital dollar done, but he is not a fan of bringing the private sector into it. Let's go ahead and touch this thing. So the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell admitted to the United States must make progress on central bank digital currency or risk losing the dollar's place as the world reserve currency. Oh, now all of a sudden he sees the end goal. Got it. During a House Committee on Financial Services hearing on Wednesday, Representative Tom Emmer, who's amazingly strong on digital currency and getting updated to DLT and using cryptos and the whole bit, of Minnesota, asked Powell what substantive recent actions have been taken by the agency to understand CBDC. The Fed chairman confirmed that they are on top of the issue, but did not specify what are the recent actions being undertaken. I bet he didn't. We owe it to the public that we serve to be up to speed. If this is something that is going to go good for the United States economy and for the world reserve currency, which is the dollar, then we need to be there and we need to understand it first and best, he told the House Committee, noted Cointelegraph. Powell confirmed the U.S. dollar's position as the world reserve currency and that if the CBDC will reinforce the dollar's position, then the agency will make sure to take steps in understanding and possibly adopting it. Possibly? China is already ahead in the CBDC race, as is piloted the virtual yuan. Let's see. And key cities and establishments, the People's Bank of China's governor downplayed the pilot test, saying that such tests were just regular routine. But the fact that they are already testing has analysts pointing out that the U.S. could lose the CBDC race, and this might result in the U.S. dollar being replaced by the Chinese renminbi as the world's global currency, which is not going to happen. The U.S. is not going to allow that to happen. It is clear, however, that Powell was not interested in involving the private sector in the creation of CBDC. He was dismissive during the hearing, arguing that the creation of money is a role reserved for the central bank. I don't really think the public would welcome the idea that private employees who are not accountable solely to the public good would be responsible for something this important, he added. As if they do a good job. I tell you, he sets them up and I knock them down. It's a bit embarrassing that someone in this position could even make such a statement as if they've been so exemplary in the way that they've handled what they do at the Fed. It's a sad commentary, actually, that I have to sit here and point this out, to be honest with you. And it's a sad state of affairs that Jerome Powell thinks he could speak to the American public and Congress in that manner, to be honest. Now, that's the news on that, and that's where we are today. Powell's statements now, we know, conflict with many public and private initiatives for the digital dollar, including the Digital Dollar Project, funded by Christopher Giancarlo, former chairman of the CFTC. The Digital Dollar Project's white paper lists out a wide number of use cases, such as remittances between the United States and Mexico. Oddly enough, the same corridor that Ripple and MoneyGram have been very successful in. While not directly intended to replace the dollar, Facebook's Libra project was originally envisioned to be the goal or a global digital currency for money transfer. Boy, did that get shot down like a clay pigeon. This was abandoned under extreme scrutiny from the U.S. government and the rest of the governments of the world, forcing Libra to switch to tokenization of fiat stablecoins elsewhere. Yeah, they're not having it, right? That's the way that is. As far as the CBDC goes, look, we're going to have one. I mean, the very fact that they're watching China race out in front here and China trying to downplay it for the first mover early advantage is quite obvious. And there's no way in my mind the U.S. has never been dragging their heels on legislation or regulation or anything else. You know, remember this. When the FATF, the international regulatory body connected to the G20, came out with the guidelines of AML KYC, those are countries that are members of that, just like on the G20. In fact, it is the G20, and it's a regulatory body attached to it. So there are member countries that sit in those seats. When those guidelines internationally were created, the United States was the president, the sitting president on that council of the FATF when they were drafted. So it's a bit of a stacked deck. There's nothing in there that they didn't want in there. And there's no way that you could know that and then believe that they went home from that international guidance and creating all of that and then didn't do anything for the United States once they got back home. It just doesn't make any sense. That didn't happen. So what really means is that whether we want to believe this or not, the U.S. has been very good at keeping what they're doing secret. But they've been working on it, and they've been working diligently on it. Now, yesterday, we all touched on what was released by Christopher Giancarlo and the law firm. And I went over that extensively and broke that down about how his opinion and the other gentleman that he had with him, and forgive me, I don't remember his name right this second, but Wilkie Barr, the attorney law group, which is also counsel to Ripple, full disclosure on that, really have written what they believe, looking at the asset XRP against the Howey Test, is not a security. And it's pretty obvious. I have 2 points in here I want to touch again, and one of them is a fresh point. I want to set this up as a reminder for you. It's only a 2-minute clip here and then a 2-minute clip elsewhere, or barely a 2-minute clip. So let's listen to these clips and then remark on this and move forward. But believe me, stay with me. This is going to be new, the way we understand this information, and ask some brand new questions that I want all of you to help answer. So first of all, reminder right here at 1320 about the real argument of why the price this is exactly, in my opinion, this is exactly why the price is 19.20 cents right now today. And I've been saying this on this channel, but I want you to hear the opinion of the former CFTC tell you exactly again why it is the way it is. Listen to this section here. Vertical commonality explains the relationship between the investor and the promoter. While circuit courts are split between broad, narrow approaches, vertical commonality generally requires the fortunes of the investors to be linked with those of the success of the promoter. Under either approach, there is no vertical commonality because XRP and Ripple exist independently of one another, such that, listen to this, the XRP ledger would continue to function even without Ripple's involvement. Unlike equities or other traditional securities, they go down with the ship when the company goes down. XRP does not represent an interest in Ripple, and performance of Ripple has no bearing on the price of XRP. Again, highlighting Ripple's success and fundamental achievements that we report on every single day are not yet comparative in price measurement to XRP because it is the asset. The blockchain infrastructure company's success has been with the software deployment. The XRP use will come later, and that's why the price does not pace the company's success. Okay, let's keep it going. This separation can be observed in the price of XRP, which historically has been unresponsive to Ripple developments and instead generally has tracked broad movement of other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ether. If there is neither horizontal nor vertical commonality, XRP cannot be a common enterprise and therefore cannot be a security under the Howey Test. You just got the reason why the price is 19 cents. Boom. And that is exactly right where I'm sitting in my chair. And listen, I've said it on there in that video, and I'm going to say it again right now. Don't believe me when I say it, but you might want to start believing legal counsel for Ripple when they say it, because that's what the former CFTC actually is, right? So to further expand here, because I've had a lot of comments underneath of this video where people are like, okay, great, so the price won't move till Ripple IPOs, and what does that mean for XRP price? Look, none of us can actually know. I'm not a financial advisor, but my estimation of what I understand about my investment is this. And this is not financial advice, but this is my estimation, my opinion of what I think, my perspective. My perspective is that IPOing Ripple, the blockchain infrastructure company, is going to put us on a public platform. It is going to make us a coffee table conversation. It is going to open up the conversation and the doors to many, many more people understanding Ripple. And by understanding Ripple, they're going to understand their software. By understanding their software, they're going to understand the digital asset XRP. And let's understand this. The reason that we follow and track this, or at least on my channel, is we track Ripple's progress. And how many times a day I hear, yeah, but they didn't say XRP. Yeah, but they didn't say XRP. I just did a video on Valente Technologies on the Digital Ledger channel. If you haven't gone over to that channel, hit the like and subscribe. Always fresh content over there, and it's never something you're going to want to miss. So I covered that because Matthew Linai discovered that they're going to go to the cloud in the Fedwire for the first financial bank, or whatever the name of the bank is. And they're going to be using Valente Technologies, which has Volpay. Volpay is connected to Ripple. Does it say XRP in there when you look at the diagram? No. But if you're so robotic that you can't understand that it is a integration process, it is a phasing in of the implementation. First it is the software, then it is the use of the asset, and as Dilip Rao so eloquently said before he left, then is the holy grail of getting them to hold the asset, not just use it. It is a phase of implementation. When I see Ripple working with somebody with the software, I ultimately understand that the end goal is for them to use and possibly eventually hold the asset. Is that a grand leap in my mind? I don't think so. You may think so. But the point I want to make here is that it's not just why would they use it? Well, because there's usually a lower percentage of savings if they only use the software. But if they use the complement of the digital asset with the software, which is the whole suite of products that Ripple offers, they're going to benefit with the whole savings. which ends up being like a 70 or 80% savings in some areas of industry for those companies that can benefit from the complete suite of products that Ripple's offers, including the asset XRP. So to me, this settles it for me. This is exactly why the coin is at 19 cents. It is very important that the usage of the coin, the liquidity demand, serve low value, high frequency payments right now, because that's what Ripple or XRP is actually able to do right now without challenging the vertical and horizontal commonality of Ripple's success as a company. There you go. Okay, now let's move to the next section here, which is at 26.54. Let me get right here. Okay. All right, let's have this. You're going to like this. Now, I have a brand new question for everybody right here, and let's listen to this section. If not a security, then what? It's very
ultimately, under a fair application of the Howey Test and the SEC's presently expanding analysis, XRP should not be regulated as a security, but instead considered a currency or a medium of exchange, consistent with interpretations offered by federal regulators. As the SEC chairman noted, certain cryptocurrencies are a replacement for sovereign currencies. Replace the dollar, euro, the yen with Bitcoin. That type of currency is not a security. This is no less true for XRP as it is for Bitcoin or Ether, which the SEC has explicitly stated fall outside the definition of a security. The increased adoption of XRP as a medium of exchange and a form of payment in recent years, both by consumers and in the business-to-business setting, further underscores the utility of XRP as a bona fide fiat substitute.
Wow. But instead, XRP should not be regulated as a security, but instead considered a currency or a medium of exchange. But instead considered a currency or a medium of exchange. Okay. Well, my question to you is does that mean that we don't have to pay capital gains on this? Hello? Is this on? This is a real question. If it's currency, does that mean that I don't have to pay capital gains like a regular investment of stocks? I'm just curious. You know, the truth is, we don't have that official definition. This is Christopher Giancarlo and his partner that feel this way. This is their assessment from their career experience and knowledge, and obviously it's a very respected opinion. But if this is in fact correct, what does this mean for taxation? Can you imagine? Can you actually imagine if this is a situation where you can actually go spend the asset like currency? I mean, I'm having a hard time getting I do not know the answer. You know, would this be like interest bearing on an account, not quite to the level of capital gains? One thing I do know is that a currency is not the same thing as a stock. They've made that evidently clear here. So I'm trying to understand how this actually goes. So I do legitimately ask this question, and this is something that I hope that we can start a new conversation with here. And shout out to DAI, who really found in the heading here down at the bottom that Wilkie is counsel to Ripple on certain matters and relied on certain factual information provided by Ripple in the preparation of this article. So I really, really want to shout out him on that because he popped that off yesterday. And I just thought that was a great piece to understand about how closely Christopher Giancarlo and the law firm are working together with Ripple. And this sounds a lot like the definition and probably in short order what was submitted to the federal judge for the class action. So quite a statement layout, and I'm sure a lot of other facts as well. Okay, look, I'm going to kill it right there. You guys leave a comment in the box. I want to keep this conversation going. If XRP is a currency, do we have to pay capital gains on this thing? Or are we free to just spend and pay our sales tax on whatever we purchase? I don't know. I am very interested to find out, though. I can tell you that. All right, the plot thickens, everybody. Head on a swivel. This is crypto. You never know. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Share the content with somebody you know, and we'll catch all of you on the next one.